today. What happened to Leon Edwards? What happened to Leon Edwards? What happened to Leon Rocky Edwards? All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it. We right back with it. It's your boy, Matt, and we are here to talk about a crime that was committed on Saturday. For us in the USA, it was midday Saturday. In London, I'm not sure what time it was, but it was a crime. A crime took place in which there was a dumpster at the O2 that was set ablaze. Let's talk about the blazing inferno dumpster fire that was UFC London. But more importantly, let's talk about one question. What the F happened to Leon Edwards? What happened to Leon Rocky Edwards? In the main event of the UFC London in the O2, Leon Rocky Edwards gets choked out, taps Sean Brady. Now, let's start off at the tippy top. Let's say tremendous performance by Sean Brady. Tremendous performance. This video is not meant to take anything away from Sean Brady, because homie went out there and did work. But this is more about the question of what happened to Leon Rocky Edwards. Because here's the thing, when Leon Edwards was on the come up, let's be real, we didn't like him. And we kept wanting him to lose every fight. And this dude kept on winning. All right, we wanted him to lose because we didn't really like him. You know what I'm saying? We didn't like the cut of his cloth. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really like the dude. We remember 3-piece and a soda. You know what I'm saying? With Jorge Masvidal. Nobody liked Leon Edwards. And he just kept winning. And the more you disliked him and they put him in there with an opponent that you thought, oh, this is it, he kept winning. So with that being said, he fights Kamaru Usman in their rematch, their second fight, and he's losing. Like, he's losing. Every second, every minute of that fight, he's losing. And then we have the head kick heard around the world. Easy for me to say. And that changed this man's career. It changed his trajectory. Hell, it changed Usman's career. But at that moment, so many of us became Leon Edwards fans because of the story. You're letting him bully you, Rock. When they put the montage to the Sylvester Stallone Rocky training, and the moment that he wins the fight, and they got the music in the background, and Leon wins the fight. This was an amazing story. He gives that tear-jerking speech after he wins. Y'all doubted me. Look at me now. Like, he's saying all this stuff, and you're like, this is that dude. You know what I'm saying? That clip right there of him winning and his post-fight speech, when you have something that you really trying to get done in your day, whether, let's say you get up early, you about to go to the gym, you got something tough, at work that you need to take care of, you got some things going on around your crib, around your house, yard work, you got to build something, you might have to build a shed, you know what I'm saying? You turn that on and you gonna get it done. Fast forward to now, and I don't know what happened to this dude, if anything ever happened to this dude. I'm not trying to throw dirt on Leon Edwards' name because I made a pre-fight video saying put some respect on his name. But I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Once he got the belt and he got, he's had at least 2 championship wins against, the third fight with Usman and Colby Covington. So he's made some money. Leon Edwards, he ain't hurting in the bank. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he got the money. I don't know if it was getting the money and getting the belt. And maybe he was always chasing that, but he never really knew if he could achieve that or if he could reach those heights, those plateaus. And then once he did it, he's like, okay, the view's kind of cool from here, but what the F do I do now? I don't know what it is, but Leon Edwards just can't get it done, bro. He just can't get it done. Again, Sean Brady, outstanding. We all knew what Sean Brady's game plan was going to be. He was going to keep it standing for a short period of time to kind of lull Leon into a false sense of hope that maybe this isn't going to go to the ground, that maybe we're not going to grapple. And then eventually, he's going to press you up against the cage, and you're going to be grappling your life off. You're going to be grappling for your life, bro. That's what it is. And there was no anything by Leon Edwards really to stop that. And I know you could say, well, Sean Brady's just that good. There was nothing Leon could do to stop it. But if you look at the end of the first round, when Leon sat down in his corner, he was already in the mindset that the fight was over. His corner is talking to him. His coaches are talking to him, trying to give him tactics, and he's almost staring at the ground. So at that moment, you knew what time it was. You knew it was over. And I was betting on Underdog Fantasy, and I wasn't really paying it. I was watching the fights, and I wasn't really thinking about it. If I would have been thinking about it, I would have got on there and hit up some live bets on Leon Edwards losing. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, bro, I was betting on DraftKings as well. Shout out to DraftKings. Holla at me. So, man, that's what it is, man. I'm not going to keep on going because I really don't want to throw dirt on Leon Edwards' name. But I don't know what happened to that man. You see that a lot with some people that even though they walk the walk, they talk the talk like they want to be champion, they're going to be champion one day. Sometimes they might never really have believed they were going to achieve that or achieve a certain level of money. And it's almost like a survivor's remorse, a survivor's guilt when it's compared to the rest of their family, the rest of their friends, the rest of the people they feel like should have made it but didn't. I don't really know what's going on with this dude. He's still, at a decent age. He's not old yet. So, he's got time to turn it around. But, he doesn't even really look like he necessarily wants to fight anymore. And the things he says in these fight lead-ups, he's talking about Sean Brady's too little. Sean Brady's too small. Leon, bruh, come on, dude. You talking about he too small. Well, he wasn't too small. He held you down on the ground. He looked like the bigger man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, shout out to Sean Brady. Sean Brady goes out there in the main event of UFC London and gets a big win. Chokes out Leon Edwards. Outstanding. He moves forward. Of course, we have to settle everything between Bilal and Jack Della as well as Shavkat coming back. So I'm not sure how long Brady will have to wait before he gets a title shot. The UFC might throw him in there with one other person, but we'll see how all of that plays out. Nevertheless, that's how that went. How about the co-main event where Jan Blachowicz makes his return against Carlos Ulberg? So I saw a lot of different people on YouTube, YouTube MMA talking about they felt like Jan Blachowicz was robbed or he should have won. I feel like Carlos did enough to get the win. I didn't really have a problem with the win at all. Carlos kind of did what, and you know, I'm not sure if what he actually did in the octagon was his actual game plan, so to speak, but he did what he needed to do. Because when Jan Blachowicz starts bashing your shins, bashing your calves, bashing your ankles, your thighs, with them leg kicks that he uses, because this man, his leg kicks are reckless. Like, this homie will go shin to shin on you and he won't bat an eye. Like, he literally swings his leg like a baseball bat, like a tomahawk, you know what I'm saying? And just bashes it. He's not worried about angles. He's not worried about where it's going to land on your leg or any of that. He just bashes your leg with his leg. And if his leg falls off, he don't care. That's what he's going to do. I feel like when he started hitting Carlos with those, the game plan changed to let's stick, move, angle, stick, move, angle. I mean, bro, it changed up a lot of things. But Jan Blachowicz, shout to that dude. He had a heck of a showing. And also, his demeanor in there was outstanding. You know, like, you could tell when the fight ended, you could tell he might have kind of thought that he lost, but the little exchange between him and Carlos at the end where he kind of got in Carlos's face and said some stuff to him, and Carlos gets hyped up, and then, like, Jan's like, rah, and Carlos is like, rah. It's like, bro, I F's with Jan Blachowicz, bro. Yanni Blanco is that dude. I like that dude, man. He just seems like a good dude. This is his job. This is his career. And he goes out there and does it. Like a dude that would be like a foreman at a plant, like working on a line somewhere in a factory. Only his job is to go out there and swing his leg like a baseball bat, like a battering ram right into your leg. Shout out to Yanni Blanco. Carlos Oberg gets a win. It wasn't good enough to get a title shot. You know, exciting enough, I should say. So he's going to have to fight somebody else, you know, before he ever gets in there for the title. But big win by him. Shout out to Yanni Blanco. I hope I mean, he never said anything about retiring. So I definitely hope he continues, because I definitely think he can beat a lot of people still in his division. Nevertheless, Carlos Oberg gets the win. Let's move on. Next we had, how about Gunnar Nelson goes out there and loses via unanimous decision to Kevin Holland. Now, one thing that I really did not take into consideration when I made my preview to this fight was that this was welterweight Kevin Holland. This was welterweight Kevin Holland. And I'd made my video, I'd posted it, and I was, you know, making my daily rounds through, you know, MMA YouTube, different things I like to look at, MMA on, you know, different MMA pages on Instagram, different stuff like that, right? Making my way through. And then I'm starting to see people bring this up, and it hits me that this was welterweight Kevin Holland. I never even thought about it. Of course, I knew Gunnar Nelson was a welterweight. I just never dawned on me. And welterweight Kevin Holland, shout out to Kevin Holland. As I've said on many videos, I'm a huge Kevin Holland fan, and you proved me wrong, bro. You still got something in the tank. You still got something in the tank, and in the correct division, you really want to win. So, in my opinion, as a Kevin Holland fan, bro, let middleweight go. If you've made some money, bro, if you have to take longer in between fights because of the weight cut, so be it. Stay at welterweight. You got a chance. You got a chance. I don't know if you'll ever be a champion, but when you look at welterweight, you can have a lot of fun fights, a lot of big fights, and with a couple of wins in these big, huge, fun fights, you might put yourself in a position to get a title eliminator eventually. You're not there yet, and I'm not disrespecting the man. Of course, he could drag me all across the room, so I'm not disrespecting him. But shout out to Kevin Holland, bro. He goes out there, he gets it done against Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson had one round where he controlled him on the ground, did his thing, but Kevin Holland looked extremely good in the grappling department. He was really good grappling off of his back. It was outstanding to see. Shout out to Kevin Holland. Let's talk about Molly McCann against Alexa Tainara. Bro, I don't know what Alexa Tainara is. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about this woman. But is this not the strangest? Is this not the strangest, most unique, interesting, yet cringe woman you have ever seen in the octagon? I mean, this lady is off. Like, she got that Myra Bueno Silva vibe, but to the 10th power. You know what I'm talking about? Like, bro, when she comes out to the octagon dancing and made everybody wait like 10 minutes for her to get there, and she moved like she was in her own world. Like, she didn't even know she was in the O2 in London. Like, she always seemed to be completely checked out, but checked into her own world. And just everything she did before she entered the octagon, the fight starts, and she switched on. She switched on, and she does her thing against Molly, as we all expected if you know anything. But then when she won in her post-fight speech, again, she's checked out of our world, and she's only in hers. The thing she's saying in a post-fight speech is just off. Then it was like there wasn't a mutual or an admirable acknowledgement of Molly McCann's retirement by her. She looked like she saw what was going on, but it didn't register, and she was still celebrating. And at one point, one of her coaches kind of tapped on the shoulder and said something, and she did kind of calm a little bit, but she missed Michael Bisping's handshake he tried to issue to her. She didn't really seem to be too into taking the photo with Molly McCann. She was just in her own world. Very, very unique, interesting, yet cringy lady. I don't know, man. I'm interested to see where she goes from here. The post-fight celebration, she drops it down, drops it like it's hot on the ground. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So, I don't know what was going on with her, but shout out to her. She got the win. How about Jordan Vucinic? Takes an L to Chris Duncan. I didn't see that coming. I mean, it wasn't like he was just a prospect, so it wasn't like it was unheard of. But I didn't see that coming. And this was D1 wrestling Chris Duncan. Like, this was Team Khabib Chris Duncan. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't playing around. Only other fight I wanted to cover, I'm not going to cover all the fights on here, a banger of a fight. This fight banged. And this was the fight that I said in my preview to this card, that this fight was going to bang. Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Shari. Bro, Nathan Wood looks solid, bro. Normally when you see Nathan Wood fight, he usually has a fight in hand, and then, a few fight IQ points get lost, and the next thing you know, he starts making mistakes, and then he loses on the scorecards. But not this Nathan. You know what I'm saying? He went in there, he did his thing, and he dropped Morgan in the first round. I really don't think Morgan ever truly bounced back from that. Morgan looked all right in the second round, but he just seemed to be a half a step off after that, and he kept looking for that one big powerful shot that was going to put Nathan down, and it never happened. So shout out to Nathan. You know what I'm saying? He gets a big win there. That I was definitely interested in seeing that. And shout out to him, man. So that was it. It was UFC in the O2 Arena in London. It was a dumpster fire. It wasn't that good of a card. I mean, to be honest, it had a lot of decisions, wasn't a lot of finishes, and, only a few of the fights really banged for real. Only a few of them. It was a lot of measured fighting on Saturday. So, but nevertheless, that card is ended. We're on an upward. We're moving on to the next UFC show, which I'll be making a video for that. Probably dropping that tomorrow or something. So be sure to be on the lookout. Please like, subscribe, comment. Did you like UFC London? If you didn't, let me know. If you did, I'm shocked. Please let me know about that. Nah, no disrespect. And man, Sean Brady goes out there and gets the win. So, thanks. Please like, subscribe, comment. And once again, I do want to thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I check you next time. Peace.